If you're sick of seeing nothing but super expensive boutique pedals pop up on your YouTube feed, I know I'm part of that problem sometimes, but this video is for you. I've got the first 3 of 8 pedals from the folks at GIGAGAIN. I've got the Superkick, which is a clean boost pedal, the Bluegiant, which is a blues breaker, and the Giga Screamer, which is, of course, a Tubescreamer. These pedals will set you back anywhere between about $65 and $100 US. So they're affordable. They're built well. I'll talk about the build quality in just a moment. But yeah, I'm very impressed with some of the unique features, and I'll give you a rundown of those in just a moment. Let's kick things off with a jam track, and I'll be stacking these with each other and also on their own throughout this video. Thank you to GIGAGAIN for sending these in for review. I really appreciate it. They have sponsored this video, but all thoughts are mine as per always. And as always, I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Let's get into it. Let me give you a quick rundown of each of these effects. They've got some really unique design elements. So the first thing is they'll run on 9-volt DC, and they're all the same. They're all exactly the same in the series. You can actually pull this secret compartment out at the bottom here, and it exposes the battery. Now, additionally, what they've done, they've given me, or given you, if you want to buy for an extra few bucks, a rechargeable 9-volt battery. So you can absolutely use these with a battery, and that compartment just slots in underneath. I love it. It's one of the smartest design things I've seen. The Boss pedals are great because that top latch actually lifts up, but this is better. It actually isn't something that's ever going to impact the switching mechanism, so it's completely separate. I like it. Now, the Superkick is a clean boost pedal with 2 voicings. You've got your standard mode, which retains all the frequency range of whatever it is you're plugging into, or you've got a warm mode, which rounds out the high end. This is kind of reminiscent to the Maxon dual booster that I reviewed many years ago. It's got that kind of thing going on. You've got one control, which is boost, and maybe the star of the show here is this. Look at this. We got this little LED that gives you your output signal. So yeah, once you start pushing it, you'll see those lights go up and it responds to your playing. It's pretty cool. The Bluegiant is based on a blues breaker. It gives you 4 main controls: volume, gain, tone, and fat. So if you want to get a fatter sound, just turn that control up. It's pretty cool. I'll showcase that in the video. In the center of the pedal, we've got an off and hot switch. If you click this up into the hot position, you're getting more drive, more attitude, and that's a whole lot of fun. It really transforms the sound of the pedal. But if you want the lower gain tones of a blues breaker, you can absolutely get them out of this. Each of these pedals have the same exact enclosure, which I really appreciate, and they all have top mounted jacks. All right, over to the Giga Screamer. Not the Tubescreamer, but the Giga Screamer. And this one gives you 3 main controls: gain, tone, and volume. But we also get some voicing control on here as well. So there's a scoop off and on switch over here, which will change the mid-range hump. So if you actually want it scooped and you play heavier music, you may actually get a kick out of turning that on. But if you want the traditional Tubescreamer tone, just make sure it's in the off position. We've got 2 circuits in here as well. So we've got the TS808 circuit and the TS9. And to be honest, they're both very similar to each other, much like an Ibanez TS9 and an Ibanez TS808. There's a little bit of difference there on the high end, but they're still very similar to each other. On the side, we've got a BB switch, and you can add the bass boost, which I found a little overwhelming. But again, if you don't want it, you can just leave it off and you're good to go. Another thing to make note of as well with these pedals is that there's a dedicated on-off switch here. So if you want to leave all your pedals set up and you just want to use the internal batteries, you can click them off and it's not going to just activate like a conventional pedal. Thanks again to GIGAGAIN for sending these out. Stay tuned as well because I'll have more videos in this particular series coming up each week. All right, let's get into it. What I'm going to do is showcase how each of these three pedals compare, and then I'll run you through each of them and then we'll stack them. So that'll be the idea of this video. I'm plugged into the Fender Blues Deluxe reissue back here on the clean channel, and it's mic'd up with a Short SM57 and a Sennheiser E906. This is my clean tone on the neck pickup. So you can hear a big difference. The Superkick is just giving you a clean boost. You can also get a warm clean boost, which we'll get into. The Bluegiant's actually running on the lowest of the two gain settings, and we'll take a look at the high gain one in a moment, but it's more of a full range amp-like tone. And the Giga Screamer, it's doing the Maxon OD808 or TS9 sound, and we'll get into the TS9 one in a moment. It also has a bass boost option and you can scoop the mid. So what we'll do now, we'll take a look at the Giga Screamer in a little bit more detail. This is my clean tone. Pedal on with the gain all the way down. It's got that nice, warm overdrive sound that the green pedals are known for, so it's really nailing that. I'm going to show you the bass boost and the mid scoop options. I'll start with them off and then I'll click them both on. The bass boost gets a little bit overwhelming. Unless you're playing single note stuff on the higher strings, then it can work, but for some of the chord stuff, at least with my particular setup, it's just a little bit overwhelming on the low end. But I'll show you off and then on. Here we go. Now, I like the forward mid sounds on a Tubescreamer. It just gives you, the sound you want in the mix. But the great thing about having the scoop is if you're recording or you're playing rhythm guitar, it will sit in the mix a little bit better. So that's really cool. And of course, you can work out what tone works best for your particular setup. If you need the bass boost, go ahead and use it. I think it sort of works best for that single note stuff. I'll show you some of that right now. I mean, it's got a lot of lows, but yeah, with it off, it's just a tighter sound. You can hear it on those lower strings, right? So yeah, there you go. Let's try the Bluegiant. Now this, unlike the Giga Screamer, won't add a whole lot of mids. It will keep the tops and lows there as well. So you're getting a more transparent overdrive. It still gives you a nice amount of gain, but it's great for getting that off clean rhythm sound. This is my clean tone as a point of comparison on bridge and middle. Let's try neck pickup. I really like the max gain setting as well. It's beautiful. That's super cool. Let's take a look at the Fat Control. Yeah. Now, unlike the bass boost on the other pedal, this actually responds and feels great. So that's great. I'll crank it all the way. Woo! All the way down. Yeah, I reckon 1 o'clock's about the sweet spot. That's pretty sweet. Let us know what you think of that. I'll just show you the tone control real quick. Let's bring that back. That's great. That's definitely got enough cut for any guitar. If you're playing even a muddy sounding humbucker guitar, this tone control is awesome. Let's take a look at the hot switch in the center. Now the cool thing with this is it will add more gain. It will get you into that classic rock territory. I'll start with it off just as a point of comparison. Good for that sort of country picking stuff as well. I'll go over to neck and middle. Middle pickup on its own. That's great. Let's try max gain here. Back to bridge. And of course, you can shape the tone and the Fat Control to your ear and liking and rig and all that kind of stuff, but it's very usable. Over to my ES335, we're going to take a look at the Superkick just on its own to begin with, and then we'll stack it into the other pedals. This is my clean tone. It's pushing it over the edge of breakup. Now you also get this warm mode, which drastically reduces the high end. I think if you're playing humbuckers especially, just leave this set to standard. It's really nice. Yeah, all right. What we're going to do now is stack the Superkick into the Bluegiant. Let's have a listen to this. I'll play some rhythm guitar stuff. going to take off. But yeah, you get the point, right? It works very well hitting the front end of the Bluegiant. Now let's try the Superkick going into the Giga Screamer. I'm going to start with the drive on the Giga Screamer most of the way down here. Now, if you're a blues player in particular and you like to use a Tubescreamer style pedal for your rhythm guitar, you've got that. You can use your volume control. And then when you kick this on, you've now got your sort of lead sound. Back off. It's a big difference with this on and off. Now that full range clean boost really comes in handy with humbuckers. It allows all the snap to still come through. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm going to give you some final thoughts here on this particular range of effects. These three all complement each other really well, which is why I wanted to tie them into one particular video. Odds are if you're a blues player, you might be a fan of a Tubescreamer or a blues breaker and or some sort of volume boost, and they all plate together nicely, which is great. These are all analog. I love the fact they've got top mounted jacks. The switch is great. I have no complaints in terms of build quality. They feel like a far more expensive pedal overall, with one small exception, and this is the only one in the range that has it. Because of this little thing that lights up here, it just feels a little cheap on that part. But that aside, everything else feels fine. So yeah, it is what it is. The Superkick Clean Boost works exactly how it's supposed to, giving you more volume into something else, or you can run this after your favorite effect and then it will just make everything louder. So you've got that option also, but it does the job. If you're looking for a clean boost that won't break the bank, that one's really good. The Giga Screamer is pretty usable overall, except for the fact that I don't like the scooped mid-range switch. I think that sort of took away from the tone. And same with the bass boost switch, which when you turn it on, it just becomes a little bit too overwhelming. Now, if you're going for a massive bridge pickup, strat tone or something like that, or a tele tone, that's where that might come in handy. But if you're a humbucker player, just leave that off. The TS-808 and TS-9 modes both sounded really nice, and it felt and responded like a Tubescreamer. So yeah, it's another green box, but yeah, you still get the benefit here of the on-off switch and the easy to access battery compartment over here. The Bluegiant is an absolute monster. If you're looking for a very versatile pedal that still gives you an amp-like response and all that kind of stuff, this is the one to go for. Having the hot switch up, man, it took it to the next level, and I found that this is the most versatile of the two overdrives I've showcased. And the clean boost stacks great with either. So you got that going for it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this. If you want to sort of experiment with the tone and the fat control, you can, to get a much fatter sound, or you can sort of back it off and get a more balanced and sort of tight and low response. So yeah, it's a great pedal. This is probably the start of the show for me. But whether you like the Tubescreamer over this, that's all subjective. It's all up to you. But in the room, this one right here sounded and felt really great to play. I only really have one small complaint. While this is a true match series of pedals and all that kind of stuff, there's no Velcro in the box. There was also no instruction manual. So I had to work out all of this stuff for myself, and I don't mind doing that. It's a good challenge, and it's good to sort of trust my ears and instinct when it comes to what is what. But nothing told me what BB was on the Giga Screamer. I just had to fiddle around with it to work out. It feels like a bass boost. So I'm going to risk getting it wrong and call it a bass boost. But overall, for between 65 and $100 US, I think these are exceptional value pedals. They're built well. They look a lot cooler than many others I've reviewed over the years. And it's great to see an actual matched set of pedals. And stay tuned, there's going to be more of these coming up. Catch you soon.